Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is a response to Seqouiaflame, his 1,000 plus subscribers contest. As I mentioned, I put a comment in your video on that. You know, I'm definitely honored to be one of the 1,000 plus subs that you have. Don't need to go on and on because everyone already knows that you are a mainstay in the VC. Love your unique delivery in your videos. I've definitely learned about a lot of great music from you, and you know, you're one of the pillars, man. Glad to have you, and here's to your next 1,000 videos. So I'll give you a VC cheer out to that. To Sequoia. All right, so you had a very good video as far as questions for your contest, because I watched it earlier this week, and I don't think I even need to go back to remember the questions, so that's always a plus. But I may have gotten the order mixed up, but if I remember correctly, first question was about how we felt about old vinyl made back in the day as compared to new vinyl today. Obviously there's good and bad on both. I think in general, if you ask me, would I rather have a well-made, one of the kind of best vinyls made back in the day, or a well-made, one of the best vinyls made today with all the 200 gram and everything else they do today, I would probably favor the old school stuff a little better. Kind of like you were saying, and I'm sure all of this is not necessarily scientific, some of it's just mental, emotional, connecting, all of that stuff, but it's just, when you have one of those solid old heavyweight vinyls in great condition and all of that, there's just something there's a quality that oozes from it, that you feel like the vinyl is stronger, you feel like the sound is warmer. And again, I'm not saying technically that's the case, but that draws a lot into it. And considering that music is very emotional, it really gets on my nerves sometimes when people will get on here and argue that, doing something CD or vinyl and digitally, that, science proves that this is going to sound better. It's like, no, that's bull. Because emotions have a lot to do with music, and the way you even feel about the media that you're using will make a difference in how that music moves you as compared to something else. But anyway, that's getting off track. But so there is something about that old vinyl that definitely brings out that side of things for me that I kind of favor. Like I said, it just seems stronger. It mentally, automatically, it sounds warmer to me. Those old, like the real heavy cardboard type of covers, again, it's just something like when you hold that, there's something that just kind of like screams quality. There's something that screams like, the way they used to do it back in the day, all that type of stuff. I remember I had a copy of John Coltrane's, Plays the Blues. It was kind of scratched up, so I got rid of it. I don't have it anymore. I need a copy of it. But I just remember, how heavy the cardboard, the folder was, the cover was on that. And it was almost like you could hold it on one end and put a 10-pound weight, and that thing wasn't going to bend. I mean, it's just like, And so yeah, overall I tend to prefer that, but just like everything else, there was great stuff that was made back then. There's also some great stuff that was made today. I think in the 80s is when things started to get a little bit, music sales going through the roof, and with MTV coming in and everything, it seems like a lot of stuff in the 80s they started getting really cheap on. Less actual material on the vinyl. Some of the folders became like, paper almost, and so they can be really iffy with a lot of that 80s stuff in there. But I think today and what they did back in the old days, there's some quality stuff out there. But I do kind of, shade towards the old school stuff in terms of when it's in great condition. So that's how I feel about old vinyl versus new. Second question, I think it was the second one. If you could take any album and turn it into a person that you could, I think you said like make love to or date, or someone you just want to be with or be around or whatever, like, what albums would you do that with? And that was a very good question, and it was kind of tricky too, because when you first start thinking about it, you start thinking artist, and it's like, no, it's not about the artist, it's about the the music, the album, and the feel of the album, and all of that. So, you know, I had to make sure I paused that thought for a second, because otherwise my first instinct would be to not think about any male artists. But it's like, no, it's not about the artist, the music. So this is what I came up with. Let me kind of go through these. Number one is what you're playing in the background, which if you hear that, it's probably not too hard to understand why. Now, the kind of woman I think you would get from this album is very kind of sensual, kind of luring, kind of a very unique personality, just really kind of smooth and heartfelt kind of thing, you know. And I think this song right here gives you a perfect idea what the album is about. So that would be one. Next one would be Black Celebration by Depeche Mode. Again, just kind of that groovy, sensual, powerful, like electronic type of passion, if you will, as far as the music goes. So I think that would turn into a pretty good person to date. I don't have to talk about this one here. You guys heard me talk about this enough, including my last video. But plain and simple, this album turned into a person. It would be someone that you would probably connect with on a level more so than anyone in your entire life. That's the type of person this album would be. Just like totally melt into you. This is one I had to throw in too. I was gonna skip over because I thought it was kind of cheating, and I didn't pull out the full album. I just pulled out the single. George Michael's Father Figure. I mean, again, if this album turned into a woman, man, I mean, I don't know. It's just, again, just that underlying sensuality. You know, I think about this as being a woman who would be very, very classy, you know, very, very almost humble, but just have like a sensuality about, you know, like I am woman, just kind of roaring from underneath it, which is, I think, would be very cool. So I think that song would be a good woman. It's kind of weird answering that in that way too. But another one, 9 Inch Nails. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Yeah, but 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral, same thing. This would be one that would be a woman that would be very kind of, you know, kind of laid back, you know, kind of chill, not just all loud out in front of you all the time, but just having like this just like energy inside of them, just a passion, I should say, inside of them about just things they cared about, things they were interested in, you know, just like all of that. So that's the kind of woman I think this would turn into, which I think would be a cool person to kind of know and date. And that would be an interesting one as well, because I'd be curious to know, you know, if other people saw this album turning into a woman or a man, like what type of person they think that would be. Because I think with 9 Inch Nails, you could hear and go a lot of different directions with what this would manifest itself into as a person. Same thing here with Lenny Kravitz. Again, just kind of a, you know, a soft yet powerful type of thing. Same thing with Sade. I think same adjectives would kind of describe this album. And then one other one, got a whole like harem here. Rob Zombie, American Made Music to Strip By. Again, this would be kind of just be like the, you know, the energetic, expressive, like, you know, just the grooves and everything that are in this album. Again, it's just something about it that would just kind of be like, you know, if that was a girl or a woman, you know, that would be pretty awesome. So that's not one I would choose. The last two, which are on CD, Best of Rick Braun. Now, I'm not sure how many people may know Rick as well, because I know we don't talk about a lot of smooth jazz here in the VC. At least I don't hear about it as much. But kind of the same thing. Rick is a guy who, in my opinion, and I hear it a lot in his music, he doesn't know how cool and how smooth he is, you know, in my mind. I think he's just like, oh, I like jazz music and I play, and oh, I like this song and I try to play it well, but it's like something in me, and of course I don't know him from Adam, but just something in me just always says, you know, he doesn't know just how much like soul and groove and stuff it's like it's inside of him. And I think that's what makes his music so great and keeps it so honest. So again, when I think about, you know, something like that becoming a woman, exact same thing. You know, if I was going to date someone or something of that nature, it'd be someone who, you know, can be like very humble. You know, they don't think they're the center of the world and all that type of stuff, but yet there's just all this greatness that just oozes out of them in all these different areas. I mean, that's the kind of person I'm typically attracted to. I'm not. Well, we don't get into that. You don't need to know my specifics, but in general, that's the kind of person I tend to be more attracted to. So that would make a good woman, someone to date, that type of thing. And this kind of is totally contradictory to what I just said, because the last one I picked was Dope, No Regrets. And again, this is very, you know, loud, in your face, kind of, you know, metal, hard alternative type thing. But I don't know, it's just something about it. Songs like Violence and a few others on here, I've just always thought were just power, sensual type of, and it has nothing to do with that. I mean, the lyrics have nothing to do with that, but it's just something about the grooves that I've heard in those songs makes me think, you know, that would be a badass woman, you know, that has that type of energy and everything else. So again, totally contradicting what I just said about Braun. Excuse me. But anyway, those were my picks for that question. And let me go ahead and flip this over before I get into the last and final question for Mr. Sequoia here. All right, and the last question was, as everyone knows, at least you should know if you're watching Sequoia's videos, he's definitely Mr. Laugh. You know, he loves enjoying himself when he makes his videos. You know, when something cracks him up, he cracks up. And I think that's why he kind of chose this question where he said, show some albums that, you know, somewhere in the album someone is like laughing or something like that. So, actually there's one I forgot I should have picked out. I need to pick that out. Hold on one second, BC. That's a good one. Should be right here. I'll find it here just 1 second. Let's see. Oh, maybe if I spell it right, I'll find it easier. Sorry about that. I was spelling it wrong in my head for some reason, why I couldn't find it. Okay, so these are the 4 albums that, you know, without even putting any thought into it, it just reminded me of a place in the album where there was a laugh or something of that nature. So number 1, Intime, the song Juicy Fruit. At the very beginning, there's some woman like chuckling at the very beginning of the song. I just remember that from all the way back when I was a kid watching that video back in the late 80s on Video Soul with that little female chuckle. And of course, oh boy! Of course, you got to laugh in there on the Ozzy, Crazy Train. Quiet Riot on Mental Health. Remember, right before they go into the guitar solo towards the end, he does kind of that fake laugh, that and then the little, you know, bass guitar kicks in, and he goes to the bang your head, and he's like answering him on the guitar. So that's one that came right to mind. Not to mention, you got to show that one because that was the first metal album to ever go #1. So I always got to make sure you honor that record and within that. And of course, Morris Day. You know, he was always known for his cool little laugh. And if you think about songs like Jungle Love, at the very beginning, he laughs going into the song. And at the very end, after he says, shit, you know, that was pretty good Morris Day imitation, wasn't it? So yeah, there's a couple different songs in here where he does his Morris Day laugh thing, but very, very good album there, too. I haven't listened to this album in some time, actually. Ice Cream Castles. That's a very cool song. I'm going to leave this out. I got to give that a spin. So anyway, Sequoia, there you go, man. Again, congratulations on the 1,000 subs. Glad I got a chance to jump in on your contest. And as always, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, VC.